Good morning, it's Sue from Snake River Stamping. Welcome to my stamp room today. I'm trying to get myself centered. Let's see, which way do I go? This way. Okay. It's opposite, so, you know, it's never easy for me to figure out. Anyway, welcome today. I'm glad you're joining me for our stamping. I need to turn off my little heater. I think it's making too much noise. There we go. I get cold in here, so I turn the little heater on. I'm glad you're with me today. I'm gonna make 2, maybe 3 things today with you, and I think you'll really like it. Some of them, well, none of them are really very hard. They're really cute for cards, and then one little gift box thing that I saw yesterday online that I wanted to share with you. So I'd just like to remind you that when ordering from me this month in February, to please use my host code. Let me flip my camera down so that you will know what I'm talking about. There we go. To please use my host code if you're going to order from me this month. And then I get notified for sure that you've ordered from me. Otherwise I have to go in and I have to search it, and sometimes I find it and sometimes I don't. But this really does help me when you're ordering, to use my monthly host code. Host codes are going to be going away in April, and you're going to start getting Stampin' and rewards for every $20 of product that you order, which would be a great thing. But in the meantime, if you would please use my host code. So thank you for that. I'm going to flip back for a minute. I wanted to ask you what you're making this month. What kind of, are you making your Valentine's cards? Are you making, you know, birthday, get well, whatever kind of cards? I'm busy making a lot of different stuff. 2 of my grandchildren have birthdays this month, so I've been making things for them. So if you're making something this month, if you would like to take a picture of it and post it on my Facebook page, my business Facebook page is just Snake River Stamping, 3 words, and you can go on there, post your picture, and maybe a little explanation. I think I'll add a post about what you're making, so you can put it, they'll all be together on my Facebook page. And I would love to see what you're making and what your creativity is bringing you this month. So I appreciate that if you could do that. I would like to remind you about my specials that I have going on this month. So turn the camera again. I'm getting so good at turning the camera. There we go. Anyway, so I have ordering specials this month, and I have different thresholds of ordering specials. For your $40 order, you get 4 card kits this month. And it says picture of all the paper cut kits. Of elegance, you can use any kind of dies that you want to use. These methods are explained in last week's the tutorial for last week, which was February 6th. That's on my YouTube, and it's still on my Facebook. Now, on Facebook, the videos, I think after 30 days they go away, but on YouTube they stay forever. So if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Snake River Stamping, that would be really be helpful to me, because the more subscriptions, the more likes, the more shares I get, then the more they promote my channel. And that's one of the things I'm working towards, is getting more subscribers. This is the card kit for this month. And you can use hearts. You can cut out any shapes that you like. But I will send you all the ribbon, all the paper. You have to have your own stamps, ink, and dies. to do this. I'll send you the embellishments, like the little gems, and the paper for the inside for these, so you can make 2 blue ones and 2 purple ones. And these just make really adorable Valentine's cards. So that was one thing I had for you. So that's my $40 threshold. My $50 threshold is you get those card kits and you get a surprise pack of gems. $60 order, you get the card kits, the gems, and then you qualify for Sale-A-Bration. And the Sale-A-Bration is our biggest sale of the year. And there's a whole little book, and it's also online when you order all these items and then some. They added new items too. For every $60 you order, you get free, totally free items. And I mean, this is a really screaming deal to get the Sale-A-Bration stuff. So that's your $60 orders. And you will also get from me emailed to you my PDF files of 2 cards that I haven't filmed, but I give you pictures and I give you directions and cutting dimensions to make these 2 cards. Get these 2. Now, if you would like to bypass the ordering and just get the PDFs, I'm selling those for $10 for both of them together, just $10, which is also a really good deal. If you look at other demonstrators, they usually, PDFs usually cost more, and that's because they take a lot of time to write. And mine are really detailed. They have the pictures, and like I said, the cutting dimension and the directions and everything to make them. And I use Storybook Moments, but you can use absolutely anything. You don't get the paper or any of the card kit. You just get the directions, a PDF file, which I will email to you, and you can either print it off or just read it off your computer or whatever. This one's really cute because this one comes. This one got stuck. This one comes with a little slide-in card that goes inside of it, which is kind of fun. So that's your $60. If you happen to order $120, you get all of the above: the card kits, the gems, the Sale-A-Bration, the 2 PDFs emailed to you, and you get 2 Sale-A-Brations, or you can go to the $120 threshold, because there's a couple of items in there that are more expensive because they're stamps and dies. So there's a couple of those that are the $120, or you can get 2 $60 items that are for free. And if you do a $150 order, don't use my host code. You automatically become the host, and you get Stampin' Rewards, which means free stuff depending on how much you order. But 150 is the minimum to start qualifying for Stampin' Rewards. And you will get free stuff, I mean anything out of any of our catalogs, our online specials, our online exclusives, last chance products, all the stuff. It'll tell you the things that you can look for. You can always find me on my YouTube link. If you just go to YouTube and type in Snake River Stamping, you'll find me. Or you can type in this link, www.youtube.com/@Snake-River-Stamping. So thank you for that. Okay, I talked to you about Sale-A-Brations, online exclusives. Now today, this is one of the online exclusives we're going to be working with. This one is called Mixed Florals. Yeah, Mixed Florals, and it just makes really pretty stuff. And next week I'm going to use some of this paper, and I'm going to use the arches also, and we're going to do some cards again next week with this. So that to today, to the cards that we're going to make today. So we're going to use first, this is Terrific Toadstools, and this stamp set is for sale in the new mini catalog, and then the paper that goes with it is one of the free items that's available for a $60 order. And I'll probably show you how to make these little things. I just learned this the other day too. I have lots of 6x6 paper and it gets all mixed up. Anyway, I learned how to make these little holders, and I can just stack them in one of my bins like this, and I label them with the number, the item number, and I can stick little pieces in here that I have left over, and it holds perfectly a 6x6. And then I tape the back of it, and in every 6x6 paper, or every DSP that we have, it tells you what it's called, it gives you the item number, and it tells you the colors that go with it. So I tape that to the back, and this is like super handy to me to have this just in a bin, and I have all of these labeled and ready to go, and I can just grab them. So today, the first card we're going to make is with Totally Toadstool, or Terrific Toadstools, and the paper's called Toadstool Garden, and like I said, this is a Sale-A-Bration item. That's why I have SAB here, Sale-A-Bration, here to remind me that that's the way I get this paper, is buying through the Sale-A-Bration offer that we have this month. So that's the first one we're going to make. And then the second one we're going to make is mixed florals. And again, I have another little holder for my the paper that goes that I used today. This is not the paper that goes with it. I'm going to use that paper next week. I used Bright and Beautiful paper this week because I found some paper that matched my cardstock that I wanted to use. But this is really pretty paper too, and like I said, the 6x6, it fits in these little tiny box things, folders I made. And it took about an hour last night, and I made 12 of these, I think, and they went really fast. I batched them, and then I just stuck them together and start putting on labels in the backs so I could use these. And so that's what I chose to use today, and I'll demonstrate that and tell you again about that, remind you. But this is the bundle that I use, Mixed Florals. It has the stamps, it has the dies, and I'll be explaining all of that as we go through that today. So first, for this cute little popping up card for Terrific Toadstools, let's see, here we go. And as you watch the replay, you can of course stop and write this stuff down. I don't usually make PDFs for these because it takes too much time, but I do share with you all my sizes and colors that I chose to use. You can choose to use any DSP. You'll always choose your DSP first so that your cardstock will match your card. So I chose, now on this one I put a white background, and I decided to try the Granny Apple Green. We're going to try the Granny Apple Green today and see how it looks. So your card base itself, whether you choose white or Granny Apple Green, whatever you choose, is 4.5 by 11. Score it at 5.5 inches. This will be a tent fold card like that. Then the first layer that I put under it, and I chose the same one. This is from the Toadstool Garden DSP that I just shared with you, and it's a Sale-A-Bration, SAB, Sale-A-Bration paper. Is 4 by 5.25, and I decided to emboss it. I didn't do it on this one, and it is kind of hard to see, but I did emboss it with a Starstruck folder, which is also a Sale-A-Bration item, free with a $60 order. I used this one, Starstruck, on this one. And it's kind of hard to see, but when you put up the card all together, it looks kind of nice that it's embossed. Okay. Now on the outside, now there does need to be a white layer on top of this colored layer, and that needs to be 3.5 by 4 3/4. That's just your basic white that goes on top. And then to make these strips, again, I use Toadstool Garden DSP, and I cut it 3 inches by 4.5 inches. And then I cut my strips. After I cut this, it was easier to cut a piece, and then I cut 1-inch strips, which I'll be doing with you, to make these 3 panels that goes on top of here. It looked a little more interesting than just putting that on top. And then I cut, I have a piece of white, 1.5 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and I used Unbounded Love to cut a tag from this. And I know I've shared Unbounded Love. I use it a lot because they have a lot of great dyes in here. And this one happened to match this particular dye, happened to be just the right size for the Poppin' Up to Say Hi stamp that goes with this set. So that's why I chose that particular dye from Unbounded Love. Okay, so that's then I had another piece of white scrap, and I stamped some stems, and I tried stamping. I did smoky slate because they have smoky slate in here, and I tried the granny apple green. We'll see which one we like. I'm going to cut those out and we'll try it on there for the stems. I put a little bit smaller stem here and you can barely see it, so I decided to do a larger stem, and we'll see what that looks like. Then on the inside, by 5, just basic white, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping on there to do the inside of this card. Okay. So those are our pieces. Now I also have a couple of mushroom tops. Now in this one, I did it on white. I did Melon Mambo ink on white. And this has a handle for a reason. I'll show you that in just a second. But then I also tried Melon Mambo on Melon Mambo. You can see how that looks. It's kind of interesting. We'll cut that out too and see which one we like. Depends on how it shows up against the background paper. So I have those 2 things. So those are all I have to make this card, and now we're going to put it together. So I just started by using my background piece that I embossed, and I'm going to put it on the granny apple green. Now, like I said, on my original card, I used white cardstock for my card base, and you might like that better than the granny apple green. I don't know. I just thought I'd try something different and see how I liked it. So all I do, and I'm going to run out of tape, but I have another one sitting here, so when I run out of tape, I'll be ready. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat because I've got paper down today because that doesn't reflect as bad. You can actually see the embossing on this other side a little bit better. And I'm just going to put some short pieces of tape on here and adhere this to my granny apple green. Center that. Okay. Then I'm going to set that to the side because I'm going to bring in these 2 pieces. My basic white for the outside, which was 3.5 by 4 3/4, and my DSP from Toadstool Garden 3 by 4.5. And I'm going to cut my strips to go on here. So I just need my trimmer. Trying to get everything, as usual, I'm stacking and piling stuff. And I'm just going to cut 1-inch strips. And this, our trimmer, it has a little bit of measurements on the right as well as the left. And actually, it's going to be easier for me to line this up on the right. And I'm going to try to keep these pieces in order so that they kind of line up when I put them on the paper. And these are just 3 1-inch pieces. It was 3 inches across. So these are my 3 pieces. I want those to be in order. When I put some pieces on a piece, smaller pieces on a piece of paper, I do the outside first, and I use some dimensionals on these. So I'm going to pull in my tweezers. This is my outside, this is my outside, this is my middle, and I'm just going to put 3 on each one. And I'm going to do my outsides first, and then I will do my middle, depending on how my outsides fit. Because then you can center it better. Otherwise, you usually end up with everything going on one side or the other, right or left, and it's not even. So this is an easier way to figure this out. So, and this is directional paper, so I when I cut it, I was looking at it that my mushrooms are all going up and down like this, and so they're not going side to side. So it's easier for me to take tweezers and get this centered so that my top and my bottom and my side are all about equal distance. And I press that down, and then I do the other side, trying to get my top, my bottom, my sides all about the equal distance. And then I can put my middle on. I used this set for my granddaughter. She's going to be 9 on Friday. She's a Valentine's baby. Best Valentine's gift we ever got. And Piper's been on some of my videos before. She loves to make cards, and I gave her some stuff to make her Valentine's cards for her friends. And she got up early Saturday morning and she was doing that. So then I just center that, and you can see they're kind of, you know, they're spread apart, but they are in the right order that I put them in. So I'm also going to pop this up. But before I put it on, I'm going to add some twine. So I'm not going to take, and I put one in the middle to hold it up. And I'm going to put some on the sides on this particular one. Okay, so then we have the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. All these items that I'm using today are linked below my YouTube and above my Facebook. I think that's how it works. And I'm going to take probably almost 2 feet of this, close to it. And I'm going to wrap this around a couple times and tie a bow. Tie a bow one alive. Great thing is you can squiggle this around. You can tie the bow pretty much anywhere and then move it after you get it tied. So I don't bother cutting it at first, but it's about almost 2 feet, maybe 18, I don't know, something like that. And when I'm doing something like this, I need a third hand because I want this to stay tight. So I use reverse tweezers to hold that. And I'm going to tie a fairly loose bow, but then I pull my tweezers out and I can tighten this up. And now I can adjust my bow size because I don't want it quite that big. I mean, it's a loose bow, but it's not quite that big. And now I take my scissors. Now I'm going to cut it. And this reduces waste when you just leave it on the ribbon or the twine or whatever on the spool. It reduces waste. You don't use quite as. And now I'm going to manipulate this because I don't want this bow in the middle because I'm going to put my sentiment right here. So I want my bow kind of off to the left. So I'm going to squiggle this over here, make it just a little smaller. And straighten it out. Cut off a little bit more, like that. And I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put these two together, but I'm going to leave these two a little bit spread apart. Okay. So now, underneath my sentiment, I need my mushroom. So this is where this bundle comes with a punch that will punch out. There's an ovalish mushroom. The mushroom we're using is this one, and then there's a small stem. And then I tried the small stem on this, and it didn't work very good because you couldn't see it. And when you use a punch, you need to turn it upside down so you can see where you're punching. And you stick it in there. And it punched out the other one. I'll just save that for later. But it punched out this. That's Melon Mambo ink on Melon Mambo paper. Now this one, I had it on a small piece, and I forgot I need room to stick it in there. So I just taped on a little handle so that I could slip it in here and get it centered and punch it out. And that's what I have left. And you can also, you don't have to have the punch because I'm going to cut some other stuff out that the punch didn't have. So that's the white one. And that's the Melon Mambo one. And I think I do like the white one better. I think I am going to put that white one on there. So I'm going to pop him up to just a little bit, just one dimensional. I'm going to put him about right there. And then I'm going to look at my two stems because I've got a gray stem and I've got a green stem. And there's no punch for this, so that means you fussy cut. It means you just use the scissors to cut. And when I cut, I'm right-handed, so my scissors do not move much except for the cutting motion. I move the paper with my left hand, and it would be opposite. If you're left-handed, you'd put the scissors in your left hand and move the paper with your right hand. And this is a really easy one to cut out. Some of them aren't quite as easy, but this one has a bunch of straight lines, so it's not hard to cut this little stem out. So I can look at my green stem. Now my words are in green also, because I already did that. With my popping up to say hi. Interesting, I showed that to you even. There, no. I tell you, how do I lose stuff? I don't know. I get really organized, and then I misplace things. Well, it's going to be on this. And I use that Unbounded Beauty to do that. I always find stuff after my lives. I find it. I'm going to use, I think, let me see, gray, green. I think I'm going to use gray. I think I'm going to use gray. Because the other stems on the other mushrooms are gray. And I'm going to have to make another tag because, you know, lost the first one I made. Trying to save time. That's what I get. So I'm going to glue or tape this one down. I'm probably going to glue it down. Because then I can slip it into place a little bit easier. And I just put it like that. So now, quickly, I have to make a tag, because, you know, and when I stamp words, especially when I stamp words, I put it in my MISTI to get a good stamp on it. And they have just a little thank you, you are magical, and popping up to say hi. So I used popping up to say hi. I thought that was a cute one. And I used Granny Apple Green ink. You want to place it on here like you would read it, so you can see through it. Photopolymer stamps are great for that, so you can read them. And I'll grab Granny Apple Green. And the nice thing is you can stamp this a couple times to make it really good and a nice strong stamp. And I have my pressure tool. Got this from Amazon. A lot of different places have it. And it's not quite as filled in as I want, so I'm going to do it again. Much better, much better. Grab my baby wipe to wipe off everything. And put it back in my stamp folder so I don't lose that. So I I'm going to use Unbounded Beauty. This is all sentiments, and I just love these sentiments, and it has a ton of outline dies. So that's where I got this particular outline die that fits perfectly for popping up to say hi. And I'm just going to use my small cut and emboss machine. I can put that on my table. And you put it cutting side down. And then use a very small piece of repositionable tape to hold that on. I'm going to scoot this up a little. And I have a top plate. And I always offset those plates just a little, and then they pull through a lot easier. Okay, voila. I will have an extra popping up to say hi. I know I'll find it later. Turn that to the folder it goes in. And now I have my cute popping up to say hi. And I'm going to grab more dimensionals because, you know, you just hardly can have enough of those, right? Well, you can have enough. Sometimes the post office thinks you have too many, but this is okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that larger stem because we're going to be able to see it, and we couldn't see it in the other one. So I'm going to center that on top of the string, the twine, and over the mushroom, like that. Okay. Now I can take off these dimensionals. So I didn't take those off before so it wouldn't stick to stuff that I might, I mean, it wouldn't stick to the silicone mat, but if I have paper behind that, and if it hit that paper, it would stick to it, and then you can still use them. You just have to put some glue on them. When that happens, you can fix almost anything. I mean, you can think of something to undo your mistakes. Okay, I think I got all those off. Okay, so now I go back to my card, and I'm ready to put that on, and it's all done. Okay, now I use shimmer spray a lot. You see me use that because I like that sparkle, and I still might shimmer spray this, but this is called Winkostella, and so it's like shimmer spray in a little brush, and I kind of squeeze it to get it going, because I don't want to squeeze it on the paper because it will make a blob. Okay, so that's coming out pretty good. I want to shimmer just my mushroom because I want that to kind of stand out. And it doesn't mean I still might not spray the whole thing, but this will be extra shimmery on my mushroom. And maybe on my stem too. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me hold it up. Can you see the shimmer? Oh yeah, if I turn it like that, you can see it. Yeah, you can see the shimmer on the mushroom. I kind of like that. That makes it stand out more. Okay, so inside, which was 3 3/4 by 5. This is a really great inside size. I use this inside size a lot. And what I did is I made this a happy birthday card. And I was going to talk to you about black. Oh, I didn't use black. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about black today. I used Granny Apple to do happy birthday. And this is a really short happy birthday. I have so many happy birthdays. I can't remember which set this came out of. I just keep this one out because it's really convenient because of the size. Now, when I have a rubber stamp like this and I'm doing it by hand, I will often catch edges. So I just have some Q-tips and I just wipe off my edges because I don't want to get that on there. Because I only have one chance to stamp this. Happy birthday. I'm going to put it kind of at the bottom, not exactly in the middle, because I'm going to put, and it's not exactly straight either, but, well, okay. Wipe that off. And then, going back to my popping up to say, or my terrific toadstools, I'm going to get, there's other cute things in here. There's these little stems, and there's these little mushroom caps. There's a little bug, and there's some leaves. So I chose to do the stems and the mushroom caps. And I did the stems in smoky slate. And I did the mushroom caps in pumpkin pie because those are two colors that are on the front. And I did my stems first because then I can place my mushroom caps on there. And you could put one or two, I mean, whatever you want over here. I'm just going to stamp my stems. Okay. And quick wipe that off. Grab another block. I think I want a small one. My box of blocks over here. Put my mushroom caps on there. And now I can kind of, they're built to fit on here. So it's just, and since this is a photopolymer stamp, yeah, I can position these to look like they're right on those stems. There we go. Those look really cute. And if you don't like to write a lot, you know, put your stuff in the middle so you don't have as much room. I like to write, so I usually put my stuff at the bottom, and then I just take my card, turn this over. Got a little bit of ink here. Let me wipe that off. And I just use my tape runner or my glue. And if you're using glue, just do the perimeter. This Stampin' Seal Plus is like great stuff. And it's really strong. You just don't need a lot. Yeah, I'm out of this one. So I'll refill that, but I have another one right here. New one, ready to go. There we go. And I just put this inside my card. Like that. And you can, I mean, this popping up to say hi, this could be anything, absolutely anything. And it could be, you know, thinking about you, you know, get well soon. It could be anything. I just happened to make it a birthday card today because I need some birthday cards coming up. Next month I have a ton of birthdays, so that I'm making cards for. So anyway, that is the terrific toadstools. They're, oh, I wish I would have brought in the one I made for my granddaughters on the table. It's a 3-dimensional card. Maybe I'll share that later. It's really cute. It folds flat, but it pops up in all all the mushrooms and flowers and stuff pop up, and it's really, really cute. So that is that card. Do you like the white card base, or do you like the Granny Apple Green card base? Which one speaks to you better? I thought I would like the Granny Apple Green better, but I think I do like the white card base myself. But yeah, both good. Both good. So the next card we're going to make, and this is called Mixed Florals, which has quickly become, I love flower cards, and so this has quickly become one of my favorite cards, my favorite sets with this Mixed Florals. It comes with large stamps. These stamps, these are 75% of the size. Comes with the large stamps and in the bundle. It also comes with these dies that cut out the flowers and cut out greenery and cut out the little, these are all the little ladybugs that are really cute that are in this set. You can see it better. This is full size. You can see the little ladybugs and different ladybugs they have and flowers and stuff. So we're going to use that today. And I decided to use Bright and Beautiful paper because I found this background paper that I wanted that matched Berry Burst that I used on this card. And for the background, I use the Exposed Brick, which is linked below, and it's a very subtle embossing folder, like kind of map type things in there. I don't know what you call them, but anyway, it's a great folder, and I use it a lot. So this is what we have. I'm going to try to keep track of all this now. So, card base. I did Melon Mumbo, and I did another tent fold, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Okay. And then I did my Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper. On the other side are these stripes, but the stripes are way too strong for the floral pattern. I wanted something a lot more subtle. I was looking for kind of a watercolory wash. And I cut it 4 by 5 1/4, and I have a piece, you'll have a piece left, 3/4, and cut it 3/4 of an inch by 4. And I'm going to use this for the tag. I'm going to stamp on this for the tag. Okay. I'm going to stick this right there, so maybe I don't lose it. All right. So 4 by 5 1/4, and I popped this up on dimensionals to begin with, and we'll pop that up, and then we're going to do some coloring. I'm just going to do a little bit of coloring. You're not going to have to watch me do the whole thing, so don't worry about that. I'm just going to show you a few little tips about coloring these things. And I'm going to talk to you about black ink pads, because I got this great tip from another demonstrator that I tried, and I love it. But you can just go ahead and put this piece down for now, because we're going to build everything on this. Okay. Again, this was from the Bright and Beautiful paper collection, and that is linked below. And the card base was 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So to build this card, you will need a piece of Granny Apple Green to cut the leaves from the Mixed Floral Suite that I just showed you. You're going to use fact, I'll show you what I did. I ran it through my embossing machine already. I used this one. Let's see, I think I put it over here. Yeah, I did this. And I cut this one. Put it like that. And I ran it through my embossing machine. And I cut that. Okay. I already did that for us. So that was granny apple green to cut your leaves from. And I forgot to write the size down. I think this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Yeah, it's a full quarter sheet on that. Full quarter sheet to do that. So I cut those leaves and I come up with this. Okay. And this has to be glued down, and you got to keep it within the confines of the card when you glue it down. So it has to touch the bottom of your top layer. This bottom has to. Now this can go over the edge a little bit. And then I added this one. I didn't put that on my first card, but I think I might add that. But what I'm gonna do before I add these, because I'm going to glue these on, while I'm coloring, I'm going to let this dry a little bit. And so if you take your Tombow glue and you just start dotting it on and hit all the edges, the points, and the thick parts, and the bottom, the parts you're really going to want it to stick. And I just kind of dot this on fairly liberally. And like I said, I'm using my mat, and it will dry on this mat, and I can rub the glue right off of there, off this mat when I'm done. You can also, if you want, I could have used the sticky paper that makes a sticker, which is another way to do it. But this gluing method, it's a little less expensive, and because the sticky papers are a little bit expensive, but this works fine. And I just I'm gonna let this dry to tacky while I'm doing the coloring. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave this on my silicone mat. I'm gonna let it get tacky so it will not squish out while I'm coloring for you. So then I took a piece of basic white, and this is a quarter sheet. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I stamped with my stamps from the set. I stamped some, these are the tulips, and then there's also some cone flowers, which I think we're going to use cone flowers, but I'm going to, since I did the tulips on this one, I'm going to do the tulips on this coloring. And I used Melon Mambo. Okay, that's the red, so I think these are the Melon Mambos. Oh no, Berry Burst. I'm sorry, this is Berry Burst. Okay, not Melon Mambo. Berry Burst. So I have light Berry Burst and dark Berry Burst. I have Granny Apple Greens, light and dark, and those are linked below. Okay, Berry Burst. And I used the stamps. I put them in my stamp positioner to use them so I could get a really good stamp on that. And that brings me to black ink. Okay, when you order Memento black ink pad, it comes in a linen pad set. I'm looking for mine. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Okay. It comes like this. It's a Memento ink pad black. And it's a linen pad. And it frankly, the linen pad is hard to get a good impression on the ink in this linen pad set. Okay, so here's my suggestion, and I stole this idea. I got it from Barb Stamps, okay, Barb Mulligan. And she orders, because all of our ink pads, except for some of the small spots, are all inked already. But so if you order white, that's not inked, and they send you the white ink. So you order the white ink pad with no ink on it, and you order a refill of the Memento. And this comes, it'll be a white clean pad, and you just put this on here both ways, squirt as much. Now be careful how much you put on, because you can put on too much. It is possible. And then I have my plastic spoon that I use for this, because I can wipe this off. And then I spread the ink evenly. Okay, and I see how much I got, and I try a little stamp and see if I've got too much or too little. If I've got too much, I press harder to press it down into the ink pad. Okay, I might even have to leave this out for a little while to let the air dry it just a little bit. And by a little while, I mean 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, but until you get it just right. And then this is a foam ink pad, and it makes such a better impression, such a better ink pad. And in fact, on the back, where they have the words white in different languages, the last one is a blank one, and it's just a black one, and I just taped that on the front to show that, and I marked out the word white, so I remember that this is indeed my Memento black ink pad. And of course I have my black strip here to remind me that this is my Memento black ink pad. So that is my super tip from Barb Mulligan, who thought this up. And she's a great demonstrator. She makes great videos. And this is a great method to use your black ink. Okay, coloring tips. I start with dark and then I go light. These Stampin' Blend markers come in a pair, and you'll have a light one and a dark one. Okay. My other tip is always leave a little bit of white showing through don't color everything like you did in kindergarten, where the teacher told you to color in the whole picture. Don't do that. You have a bullet tip and you have a brush tip. The brush tip is kind of like a paintbrush, which is very useful sometimes. Now, when you're being really exact, like some of these stems, I start dark and I leave some white. And the skinnier stems, I'm going to use the bullet tip. Okay, and then these lines up here that are just lines, I am going to go over those. Just lines. Okay, and I'm going to color in. I'm going to switch to my brush because I do want, it has a really fine point on it, and you use it very gently. And I color in. Okay, so then I switch to my light, and I'm going to go over the dark and into the other space. So it's going to blend and make it look, and I'm going to leave just the littlest bit of white showing because I want it to look like there's a reflection on it. And I get pretty good looking leaves that way. Do a couple more. So I'm going to do my dark, bring it down, do my dark, go back to my light, go over the dark and pull it into the white part, but still leave a little bit of white showing because that looks like reflection. Okay, so that's how I do my leaves, and I do basically the same thing with my flowers. I start with the dark, and with my flowers I start at the bottom with the dark and I just color up a little. And I just, on these, I just make little circles. I'm not coloring in those whole flowers the way they are. I make little circles. And then I come back in with the light. I go over the dark, and when this dries, you'll be able to see it better. And I'll show you an example. But I am going to go over the dark, and I pull it up. I'm going to leave some light. My brush tip like that. Okay, so eventually it's going to look like this. I mean, you can see my whites in different spots, but I have white spots on it so that those will, and they'll dry this color. They look really dark right now because they're still a little bit wet, but they will dry like this and look like this. Okay. So those are my coloring tips. Start dark, then go over it with light and pull it up into the other part of the image that you're coloring, and leave some white spots to show reflection and make some depth into it. If you color it all the same color, I mean, it looks okay, but it doesn't show quite as much depth. All right, so now I left these, that was just a few minutes. I left these, and you can see the glue is clear. It's not white anymore, and it's tacky. So I'm just going to use my my tweezers. I guess they're also, and I'm gonna start over here on the left. I'm gonna even this up on the bottom, because this is really tall, and it's as tall as this whole piece. And this is a background piece. And now I can smooth this because I let it dry for a little while. I can just smooth it on there. And I can also put this up here. I think I'll put that up there. Okay. All right. So I've already colored, and I did the other flower, and I thought these were daisies, but then I saw somebody said they said they were cone flowers, and I didn't know that, but so I think these are cone flowers. So I colored two, not much on this one. I did the berry burst with the method I told you about, and I did the granny apple green, and I added some daffodil delight for the center of them. And I have light and a dark, and I did the dark where the dots were, and then I did a little bit of light. So the dark where the dots were and a little bit of light. And so I have one, let's see which one we like. Let's get glue on it. So we have the berry burst one we could put on, and we have the white one we could put on. Now I wish that was over here. I wonder if I can get that up. Huh. I can cut that off. I'm going to put it like that, because I'm going to put the flower there. I don't want that there. Okay. I think I like the white. I mean, I did use berry burst flowers as accents, but I think I like the cone flower in white. What do you think? Do you like it white or do you like it in the berry burst? I think I'll do the white. So when you have something that goes over the edge, all you have to do is flip it upside down. Grab your scissors and just cut. And now it's even. So I am going to pop these up on dimensionals. And they're probably going to need several. Get some small ones, some mini dimensionals down here. These are the same height, they're just smaller. Okay. I really got to vacuum this room today. I've been throwing stuff on the floor for a week. So it's a little out of control. And I'm going to put this right there. Okay. All right, so I managed. Now see, I would save this for another card because I've already completely colored it and it's really pretty. So I would definitely save this for another card. And I still have this strip that's 3/4 of an inch wide and 4 inches long, and it's going to be my tag. It's going to go right over here. All right. And I chose from, what did I choose? I think it's from Textured Florals. Yeah. This is from Textured Florals, which I think I'm going to use this next week on some new paper that I've got coming. And this even has a die. I love this die in this one. This one cut out in the Granny Apple Green would have looked really good to fill in behind there. It's a really nice one. But I used this one, and I used the Memento Black for this to stamp this greeting. And then I trimmed it in a little bit. So I put this in my Misty. I'm going to push that against the side so it's straight. And you put it down so you can read it. So the printing side is down. Press it in. And we're going to grab this new black ink pad that we made that will stamp better than the linen pad because it's made out of foam. Doesn't mean we might not have to do it twice, but it's still, it's a lot easier. That looks good. Did great. Now if I was using that linen pad, I would definitely have to do it 2 or 3 times because it's hard to get the ink up from there. And I would rink those pads all the time, and it still was difficult. So I just took this, and you can trim it, you can make a flag. I'm going to trim on an angle. Like that. Trim 2 angles. And I'm only going to put my dimensionals on the outside because there's already dimensionals in the middle from the flower. and I don't want it to be uneven. So I'm just going to put my dimensionals on the outside of this, the edges, right and left. And I just place that over here. Yep. Stamping on DSP is always makes it interesting when you stamp on there. So now we're going to make the inside, and I did something kind of fun on the inside. I didn't put any words. Remember, this is 3 3/4 by 5 on the inside. There's a little flower stamp like this, and I used orange, the pumpkin pie, and no, I didn't use pumpkin pie. I used berry burst, and I used granny apple green, because those are the two colors in on this card. And I'm going to make this little border down here like this. So I do like all my green ones first, and then I clean my stamp, and then I do all my berry burst ones. So, and it does help when you're hand stamping with a photopolymer stamp, getting too many things over here, too many things. Let's put a few of these away. Get them out of the way. Room to think here. So I just tap, tap, tap a few times, and I'm going to go off the edge. You'll notice I put some paper on my Stampin' Pierce mat, so because I know I'm going to get ink on it, and I don't want that to, so I just leave a little space, and these are going to overlap some, but this is so I don't have to clean off my stamp every single time. So now I clean it off, get the green off, and now I'm going to put the berry burst on and do the other ones in between. And I'm going to close this ink pad so I don't stick my arm in it. And open my berry burst. And I'm going to go in between. I need the stamp over here. And if you want to go right on the edge, you can, just a little bit. So now I have this cute border that was really easy to make that adds a little interest. And my brand new tape runner that I got out, there it is. Add a little tape to this. Doesn't take a lot. And I'm going to just put this in here. Now, there's two things, and I need to pull that other card back in too. This is a Sale-A-Bration item, these sequins, but I thought they were, I thought these iridescent pearls looked better. I love iridescent pearls. So I put a few little iridescent pearls on here, just to add some interest to this one. And then my green popping up. The white doesn't show up very well. So I took my dark Granny Apple Green and I colored some of these because they're white. You can color them, and it works better with the brush tip to color them while they're on the acetate. Don't try to color them on your card, or you'll get ink on your card because you have to go around and down, and it'll bounce off the acetate, but it will not bounce off your card. And these dry really pretty quick. And I can put some green, Granny Apple Green gems. I could make these Melon Mambo gems if I wanted to. But those look really cute on my Totally Toadstools card, my Terrific Toadstools card. So those are the 2 cards for today. What time is it? Oh man, I'm running out of time. If you would like to watch, I'm going to make a box, and it's really fast. It looks like this, and it has this pretty gold. Can you see the gold? This is so cute. Anyway, I have, like I said, I've been making stuff for my granddaughter for her birthday this week, and this is one of the things I'm making for her. And you can put all sorts of things in this size of a box. You can put like chapstick. I got a lipstick here. You can put a chapstick. 3 Ferrero Rocher candies will fit in here. Other small candy, you know, wrapped candies will fit in here. You just pull this off, and you can still keep it, and then the box comes open like that. Isn't that cute? So it's really quick if you'd like to watch this. So both pieces are cut to the same size but scored at different sizes. All right. So the bottom, they're both 4 by 7.5. Both pieces 4 by 7.5. This one is scored on all 4 sides at 1 1/4. Okay. This one is scored on all 4 sides a little bit bigger, so you need 1 3/16, which is just one line on your scoring, your cutting tool. When you're looking at 1 1/4 right here, no, you probably can't even see that, and it's just one line less, and that's the 3/16. So there's 1 1/4, and one line less is 3/16. Okay, so I've already scored all these, and what you have to do is you have to cut these little pie shapes out, and it's called mitering, so there's not quite so much, and you'll be able to see the lines better. I mean, I know you can't see the lines right now, but I'm mitering all my corners. I'm cutting up to the score line and making these little pie shapes, so I get this. All right, and I do that on both of them to make these boxes. But remember, the score lines are just a little bit different sizes because you want the top piece of the box to be a little bit, a smidge larger than you want the bottom box, because basically these are 2 boxes put together, and you miter your corners like that. Okay, see, this is really easy. So the pieces are 4 by 7 1/4. The bottom box scored at 1 1/4. The top of the box, this is really pretty paper. I don't think we have it anymore. You scored at 1 3/16, and then you can see the score lines in person. They're really hard to see here, but Now you need to take these off. You need to bend these on all the score lines and burnish them so that they will stay bent. And you can see by taking those little pie shapes out, you can see that when you put this together, now it's going to fit together better. It's not going to have too much paper in there making a problem. So then I just took my Stampin' Seal Plus and I put 2 lines. You notice I'm folding these so that these are on the outside. And so I can just fold those in and stick them down. So don't do it on this side, do it on the outside. You can turn it over if that's easier for you. But I put 2 lines, or you can use glue. You just have to hold it a little bit longer. You can use tear and tape. Tear and tape's really strong. So there's the bottom of my box. And I do the same thing with this. I'm going to fold on all these lines. Works better if you take that off. Fold on all these lines. Okay. And tear and tape or Stampin' Seal Plus or glue. This is the inside of the box. This is the outside. That's where your whatever adhesive you're using, this is where it goes. Okay, so this one is just a little bit bigger because I scored it differently. And they fit together like that. Okay, then I used some of this fabulous new ribbon. It's a really open weave. I'm not sure, it's gold. Open weave trim. Gold open weave trim. And you need like 18 inches of it to tie around here. Let's see. I'm going to trim this off because it's too hard because this is really wide ribbon. But that's why I chose the gold and white for this box, because there's some gold in it and this ribbon is gold, and so it looks so pretty. And I just tie a big bow. And I just manipulate this around and make my bow a little bit smaller because I want it to be, you know, the right size. I'm going to trim off the ends a little bit. And I have my box. Now it just took a few minutes to make a box, get some candy, get some Burt's Bees, lip balms, you know, whatever. Little cars or trucks for boys would work in here. Use a different DSP. We've got some really cute airplane DSP and stuff that would look cute. But I just love this open weave ribbon. It is so pretty. Ties into such a pretty gift. I hope, let me go back on my face here. Press the button. There we go. I hope that you enjoyed these projects today, like the box and our card. Oh man, everything's backwards here. The cards that we did today. Anyway, all of the products that I used are linked below. Remember my ordering specials, and remember that Stampin' Up! has the biggest sale of the year right now going on, and you get free stuff for every $60 that you spend, and it goes through February 28th. All right, I'm going to see you next Monday, hopefully at 11. Today I have appointments I have to get to, but don't forget, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go on my Facebook page right now, and I'm going to make a little box that says, what are you making right now this month? And I would love it if you would post whatever you're making this month. And even if you're not making cards, maybe you like to craft some other way, and make some other things. I know many of my friends, they make lots of crafts, and so maybe you'll post what you're making and we can all see it.